he used to be, or Bender, is Zuck what he has always been? I'll go over some other such as and whatnots along the way, but Zuck is in the spotlight. Man. Talk about a whooping. It's like we look at our portfolio, right? And we're like, wow, that's it's like, off the highs, that's a pretty big whipping. You look at Zuck's wealth and portfolio, that dude's getting facial, dude. he's he's lost like a quadrillion dollars. I don't know if that's a word, but it's close. Well, he's not exactly food stamping it right now. Um, so I'm gonna go ahead and say have it. I'd rather have $1 trillion and lose three-quarters of it than not have $1 trillion. Just that's my personal preference. Just really, really wild. That's tough stuff, man. That is ego at its finest right there, and the downfall of such. Unbelievable. We had data come in. I'm gonna have to keep this quick because the oil delivery man is here. They just show up when they show up. Data came in good. GDP solid. Some of the pricing input indicators came in lower. That's good. Fed getting what they want. People claiming unemployment. All those things lining up for all those things. ECB raised rates to by 2 points, which was expected. Things are kind of shaping up in a lot of ways for a decent little rally. In a lot of ways, you can kind of take the recession talk by definition off the table based on that GDP print this morning. So, look, it's like we want things to be bad for Fed conversation, right? Based on inflation being high, but inflation is pulling in. That gives them the ability to let shit just marinate. Is just let it to truly be data dependent. So we'll see how that shakes out from that standpoint. But unfortunately, Bender, I have to go. I will say this really, really fast. Dollar is in an interesting spot. It reclaimed 110. It's making me anxious, the fact that it is at 110. And we have the VIX, looking very interesting for a potential move to the upside. So all of these things being what they are, and Apple and Amazon reporting, let's be cool. Let's be really, really cool about what we're looking at, because those two gorillas can dictate the market more so than probably Powell or anybody else based on their results and how the market wants to react to them. But I will try to be back. I have to go deal with the oil man.
All right. Sounds good. Well, I will go through some levels here on the chart. We're currently sitting 38.47. I think the level for me to watch early this morning, 38.25 to 38.30. I think that's kind of important. Set up the day. Just below where we are right now, 38.44 is the 50 MA on the 60-minute. So I'll be watching that as well. Right now we're above it. If we pull back and test it and hold and keep going, north from there. Then I've got 38.50 previous level of support and resistance. Also the 10 and the 20 on the 60-minute. There's some levels in between there in 38.97, but not as important. 38.97 was yesterday's high, takes us to the whole number 3,900, and then 39.15 was the area that I said yesterday, look out if we get there. We didn't quite get there, but that 39.15 it's probably moved up a little bit or moved down a little bit today. I'll have to go look, but that was the midpoint of the down channel. Let's see where it's at today. I'll come back with that number for you. Levels below, if we give up that 38.25, 38.30 area, 38.26 is the 5 MA on the daily. So, kind of that's why I say 25 to 30. So 38.26 being that 5 MA on the daily. Below that, 38.15 previous level of support and resistance, 3800 whole number, and then 37.76. So again, for me this morning coming out of the gate, I'll start by watching, that 38.44. And if it looks like we're going to, sell off at the open, then I'll be watching 38.25 to 38.30 as kind of the level that sets up, my positioning. If we hold that and can sustain it, then, and it looks like we're going to hold, then I'll probably try to play it for a bounce. If we give it up and bounce and come up and reject it, then it sets up a short for me. So that's what I'm looking at. Stonkington, what do you got? You here?
I'm here.
Good morning.
Morning. Hello. I'm clicking through stuff, just kind of lining things up. Let's see. Okay. So NVIDIA probably would need to make a little adjustment to the triggers with a little move up. So to take NVIDIA long, could just use this pre-market resistance line up here at 135.75. And then let's see, we've crossed a couple smaller dark pools on NVIDIA. I probably, if we're going to push down, be probably watching this 133.82. Has $145 million sitting right there. And then there was also this longer term line, the 133 flat psych level. AMD wouldn't really need to change anything there. That was a daily inside bar on AMD. So long on AMD, I'll be looking, see what happens up there at 61.9. And if we go down, be looking at 61 flat. And then Tesla would be looking at yesterday's high a day, 230.1. See if we can break above that and hold, or a long on Tesla. And then for the short, we had a pretty decent sized dark pool come in at 226 flat during the day yesterday. So I'd be looking at that. It was like they had that news that criminal anal probe based on self-driving cars, and they just bought the dip like nothing happened. Anyone who took that short got kind of zuck cucked. But
I mean, it seems like they've, maybe it's been a few weeks since we've seen that, but it's, don't we see that pretty, isn't that kind of a common occurrence? Like, oh, there's another investigation. Oh, there's another, or is this one different?
We probably would need L's or some, I don't know.
This one's a little bit different.
Okay.
In that the DOJ is involved. It's also a little bit different that even if he wakes up to tomorrow and says full self-driving is available to roll out everybody full self-drive, he still has to go through regulatory approval, whether it be state by state or from a federal standpoint, as far as being able to actually roll it out as full self-driving to be used as full self-driving. That makes sense? So the DOJ investigating these two little boys playing stink finger in the back of a car and then on autopilot and then it blowing up, it's like, so that's one thing. But the bigger overhang with the whole thing is probably what comes out of this probe and how it feeds into regulatory approval and hurdles that they're going to have to get over, which is something that he mentioned on the conference call. The regulatory aspect of full self-driving, that even if it's ready tomorrow, it's like it can't be rolled out until the regulators say it's A-OK. That make sense?
It does. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Good stuff. Oh yeah, and then the other one I was going to mention was SPY. So SPY, an important line to have on your chart is going to be this 384.83. That's up to over $6 billion sitting on that line. We had a real time print there yesterday, and then they started hitting it with the signature prints where they just kind of keep tapping the same line. It doesn't matter the time of day. Other than that, let's see. I think I gave myself an email. We had a couple other interesting dark pools. Snap, biggest dark pool of all time on Snap at 958. That's $95 million, 20% of average daily volume, and they were tapping Qs with phantom prints. Over $10 above current price action, up at 291. So those are the ones that stood out to me from yesterday, and that's all I got.
Right on. Perfect.
Peter, you
Well-
covered all of your suches and whatnots.
I did.
All right. All right. So in a lot of ways, Aviator One, that probe could actually be doing them a favor. If they come out and say, hey, it's like autopilot's cool, but you can't be playing stink finger in the back seat in a moving car. Somebody needs to be behind the wheel. So it's like if I take Legos and I jam them up my butt, can I sue? Who makes Lego? Hasbro, or is it Lego that makes Lego? Can I sue them for
Yes.
my butt being messed up? It's like,
Does it say on the package that you can't do it?
Right, that's the thing, and I don't think Tesla's deal says, yeah, nobody should be in the driver's seat. It's like you can't misuse a product and be like, if I decide to, let's say, drink bleach, I sue Bleach Man for making me sick or killing me. You can, but you're not supposed. It says on the bottle, don't drink the bleach, do not ingest. It says it. So I don't know where you draw the line as far as a consumer actually being responsible for their actions. Don't know. Not real sure. We all know tobacco companies have gotten away with it for years and continue. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. But in a lot of ways, in my opinion, I think they're doing Tesla a favor by doing this and then ultimately throwing it back out, is what I believe.
Sounds like Hells should not be left alone without adult supervision. So many creative ways to use products wrong.
737 Max. There's yet another one. But the only difference with that is like there was a malfunction within. It wasn't misuse. It's like there's a big difference between that and even what Tesla's thing is. They knew it. I don't think they knew that they were going to kill a bunch of people. Regardless, they are murder planes. So I guess we can kind of move off of that a little bit. Again, anything else, anybody?
I don't have anything else.
What do you think today, Bender? What are we looking at, bud?
It depends on, for me, if we stay above 38.26.
How many handles is that, give or take, from where we are now?
20 something, 27.
27. Okay,
So
that's quite a few.
it is. I'll give you the quick recap. 38.44 is the 50 MA on the 60 minute. If out of the gate we find ourselves below that, or we test it and fail, that
Okay.
38.26 is kind of what I'd be looking for, the next level. To look for a bounce if it's below 38.26 and we can't retake that 5 MA on the daily, then I'd be targeting like 3,800. If we can stay above 38.44, 38.50, which is just below where we are right now, that's where the 10 and the 20 come together on the 60 minute. So if we can hold above that, then realistically, we could find ourselves back up testing yesterday's highs.
That kind of makes sense. I think that number that you said, that 27 handles down, I think it would, and I do not like this bull flag on the dollar on the 5 minute. I think what's interesting about that, we saw a decent amount of 380 puts come in for Friday. If they close out of them, I think that's going to give me the confidence watching those 380 puts, what they do with them. And would really like to see some action up into 390, which we really haven't seen a lot of 390 activity. So it's like, that's kind of what I'm going to be watching up against that level that you're talking about, because that kind of coincides a little bit, at least for me.
Did you see the chart that I posted? Just scroll up just a little bit. I mean, it should still be on the screen. Yeah, so
right
that channel that we're in right now, I put that price level there at the midpoint of that channel, the top of that channel, and then you've got your previous areas of, support and resistance, kind of the price ranges above and below, and we got kind of a gap in volume there. That volume only goes back 5 days, that volume profile.
Okay.
But, we've got this, again, sort of shelf in here that, if they decide to break the midpoint of that channel, the next sort of, level that saw a decent amount of volume was right down around 3,800.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. It's weird. It's like there is divergence in that. I think yesterday we talked about a little bit that we'll get to the point of diminishing returns as far as tracking the dollar eventually. Dollar is moving higher, as is the market. They're moving together. So that element, we have to be careful as far as over trusting it a little bit now. We have to be aware that because if there is divergence, we have to understand the divergence that we're seeing. So make sure you're factoring that in if you're pairing your trades up and against the dollar, that there is divergence there. And we've seen it before, that whole thing to where, it works one day and then it doesn't. And then it doesn't for a long time. And then it does again. So keep an eye on that. I saw a little something last night on the interwebs, Bender. I would like to share.
Yeah.
Always remember this: grapes must be crushed to make wine. Diamonds form under pressure. Olives are pressed to release oil. Seeds grow in the darkness. Whenever you feel crushed, under pressure, pressed, or in darkness, you're in a powerful place of transformation. Trust the process. I know a lot of times we go through that as traders. A lot of times we feel that with what we do on a daily basis. Stay true to yourself. Stay true to the process. And when you feel that anxiety, that stress, that pressure, that squeeze, whatever it is, you can take that energy and you can use it to your benefit, as opposed to it being a dark and ugly and sad place for you. You can use that to strengthen yourself moving forward. Don't forget that. Market opens in 20-ish minutes. Let's get ready. See y'all soon.
Inspirational quotes. Love it.